For what purpose does Mr. Bishop seek recognition?
To strike the last word.
Gentleman's recognized.
And I have at the outset some questions, and I'm not sure who to direct them to, but let me start, Mr. Chairman. You've advanced the bill, and I guess the bill's sponsor is not present on the committee. Just like to, if you are inclined to respond, how does a national hymn differ from a national anthem? I looked up the words just to try to clarify it in my own mind. And what the dictionary I had available indicated, it's on my phone, said that an anthem is a form of a hymn. So how is the proposed national hymn to differ from the national anthem? Mr. Chairman, are you inclined to?
Yes, I am inclined to answer. A hymn represents a song of joy and praise. An anthem, we already have a national anthem, which celebrates the country and has always been recognized as a hymn from the very start.
Well, you say that, but even some of the materials from the committee staff say that, and I believe Mr. Cohen mentioned it, that that Lift Every Voice and Sing is known colloquially as the Black National Anthem.
Yes, it is.
How would you propose that be distinguished in the minds of Americans if we already have people who consider it an anthem, and in fact a national anthem?
Although the song is most frequently associated with African American, as you said, with African American power and unity, it has been sung by people around the world. As Dr. Timothy Askew, professor at Clark Atlanta University, describes Lift Every Voice and Sing, is a song of, quote, universal uplift that extends, quote, beyond the defining lines of race and religion. It speaks to the global struggle of persevering through difficult situations and maintaining hope, even during the darkest of times. Well, as Congressman Burgess Owens wonderfully said during the subcommittee hearing on H.R. 301, the song represents all Americans.
Well, I guess it's elusive to me how Americans are to distinguish one from the other, and that's what I was seeking. I don't think those comments spoke to the distinction, but let me move on maybe and ask you something else. When would it be appropriate to feature the national anthem versus to feature the national hymn if this bill were to succeed?
They're not pitted, if the gentleman will yield.
I yield for the answer to that question.
They are not pitted against each other. H.R. 301 merely adds an additional song to our country's repertoire of nationally recognized music.
Right. I'd move past that, Mr. Chairman. The question was, when would it be appropriate for the hymn to be featured versus the anthem?
They're often, the way it's currently done is they're often played in tandem.
I see. That's more concerning.
As at the Super Bowl, for example, was done.
Yeah, I think I do hear that. And I'm troubled that there would be the playing effectively of two national anthems. That's exactly what my concern is. Let me ask this. How many Americans, what percentage of Americans know and or have affection for Lift Every Voice and Sing?
Do we know that?
It's a song that's been sung by...
It's a song that's been sung for 120 years. I have no idea the statistic.
Well, I think that therein lies, frankly, another problem, which is how can you justify the Congress declaring to the nation to be official a composition that you don't even know whether it's something that most Americans hold dear?
Yeah, let me just, if the gentleman will yield.
I yield for answer to that question.
The ranking member Johnson said during the hearing that the song has been sung by many notable people on many notable occasions over the last 120 years.
Right, but I've read the material, Mr. Chairman, and it's in full. And I know it's a very important song. It's an extraordinarily important song or composition to African Americans, particularly for very good reason. What I'm asking though is how how we can justify, if you'd have to know, it seems to me, if you're going to declare something to be the beloved national hymn, to know whether Americans beloved it. Is that not true? Would it not does it not matter whether, let's say 20% of them, let me just pose a hypothetical and then you maybe cover that as well. Let's say 20% of Americans know what this composition is. Does the fact that the other 80% of Americans don't even know this hymn cause you any pause about whether we ought to declare it to be the national hymn?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that question.
If 80% of Americans don't even know what this hymn is, never heard it before, Does that not cause you pause about the legitimacy or the appropriateness of declaring it to
Well,
be?
I don't know if the gentleman will yield.
I yield for the answer to that question.
I don't know where you get your statistic that 80% of Americans don't know the hymn. I don't know that anyone has taken a poll, but it's been sung at many, many occasions, at presidential inaugurations, at Super Bowls, at Coachellas. I presume a very large number of Americans know it. I have no statistic. I don't know that anybody's taken a poll.
My time's expired, Mr. Chairman.